Yes. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Lion's Den. It's been a minute, but we in the building. Hit the share button real quick because we got some good things to talk about. So yeah, Big Herm, what's up, bro?
Bro, I feel like it's been a year since we've been on camera like this.
It felt like
we missed two. Well, we had two rerun shows. It's our first live one in like 2 weeks, right?
Yeah, man. Life happens, bro. You got to get it in. You know what I'm saying? We got to do what we have to do. But ladies and gentlemen, if this is your first time here, what we talk about on the Lion's Den is all things leadership, growth, development with action. You know what I'm talking about? From the home to outside in the community. And we highlight the things and people that are making things happen in a positive direction. Right on. So if this is something that you feel inclined to be a part of, please make sure you subscribe and you follow us. We're everywhere. As a matter of fact, for real, we took some time and some hard sweat and work to make sure if you were to Google the Lion's Den, you will see more than an adult superstore. Okay, so it's the Lion's Den with Seth. All right, we get it in. So what's going on, everybody? Hey, what's up, Miss Lay up in the building? And also too, hit us up. Let us know where you watching in from, right? So we can give y'all a shout out. So what's going on with you, bro? Oh wait, happy Father's Day to all of the fathers out there. All right.
What about to the single mothers?
What you saying?
What about to the single mothers? We ain't gonna wish them a happy Father's Day too?
All right. So happy Father's Day to all those brothers out there that's getting it in. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Hey, I hate you, bro. I can't believe it.
Hey man, you know I got to throw that off in there, man. What you do for Father's Day?
Man, a whole bunch. You ready? So
What's up?
eventful. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Do you know how good that felt? I feel like I'm really officially old, right? Because all I
Yeah.
wanted was nothing. Like, shut up. Nothing. Get out my
Man,
nothing. I just
boy.
want to do nothing. What you do?
Well, you know, after my daughters gave me their thoughtful gifts and whatnot, you know what I'm saying, they asked me to barbecue for them. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I like it. I mean, it was just another Sunday. You know
That's
what I
all
mean?
it is. Yeah. Do us a favor on your day.
So I grilled out, you know what I'm saying, had me, you know, a little drink outside, just made some chicken and fish.
Yeah.
Really just enjoy family time is what I did.
Yeah, that's good, man. Actually, that reminds me, man. Simone drew me a nice picture. I remember when she was little, she was just say, right? I don't know what it was, but it was for me. You get what I'm saying? So now, you know, she's drawing pictures of lions and everything. Happy. So she's seeing something, and I'm like, yo, this is dope, right? But again, man, I appreciate everybody that's helping us out. What's up?
You know what's real cool though, this Father's Day is one of my daughter's friends actually gave me a gift and a card. You know what I mean?
Wow.
And I was like, wow. You know what I'm saying? That really unexpected, man. It almost made a thug cry.
Oh my goodness. Well, you got to be one first. But I can understand that, man, because honestly, and we'll talk about this another time, but man, it's no manual to this thing, bro. All you can do is the best you can. And to me, it's surprising when I get a hey, you're doing a good job from somebody else. I'm like, really? Because I'm still trying to get this thing together.
I'm surprised mine's still alive. You know what I mean?
Bro, like, how do you cook this thing? You know what I'm saying? So, but no, man, no, it's dope, man, when we're recognized. And but we do want to make sure we recognize everyone. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about life after serving in the military. Sweet baby Jesus. Woo! Whoever told y'all that the transition was easy is a lie in 3/4. You understand? How was it for you, man? I mean, just in general, just, you know, before we go deep into it, what would you think? How was it for you?
Well, before I get into it, man, let's go ahead and get Wiley on, man.
You ready for Wiley?
Yeah, right, because for me,
what's up?
I'm about to go into it. You know what I mean? Wiley, he been backstage for 30 minutes before.
He been backstage. Hey, so look, ladies and gentlemen, look, check this out. Before we just bring him in, right? We don't want to just throw you something hot like that. So,
I just dropped his name and everything.
Yeah, you sure did. Appreciate it, right? So let me give him a real good introduction. Y'all, look, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Jeremy Wiley, man. There's so many things we can say about this brother, right? You know, he served along with us over in Scott Air Force Base, right? As the career advisor. I mean, just the guru of all things helping for professional development, right? You have the ALS, the not ALS, excuse me, the FTAC, right? And different events that were going on just for our professional development. And one thing that I love, right? I think we're too old now to be liking things, right? What I love about this gentleman is that he's never changed. And unfortunately, sometimes people can't dig that, right? But that has helped our relationship, right? By connecting with authentic individuals. And that is one thing he is. So ladies and gentlemen, y'all give it up for Jeremy Wiley in the building. Yeah. What's going on?
Well, I appreciate that, man. You guys over here making me blush. You can't tell because my beard now, but yeah, retirement beard.
Look at that pirate beard going on. So how you doing,
That's
man?
right.
How you doing?
Living the dream, man. Just enjoying the day. The kids all gave me a card. They said my gift would be here on Tuesday, but I'm not allowed to open it until I have them all on FaceTime, which makes me a little concerned about what this gift may be. But I got 2 adult children and 1 almost adult child. So, you know, God only knows what it is. I'm still a little concerned.
There you go. Hey, so look, shout out to everybody that's watching right now. I see you, Shu. Look, I see you in here getting it in, and everybody else, we do want to say we appreciate y'all for getting it in the building. So transitioning out, what a cluster, right? Oh, and by the way, we were some of the many of individuals that retired during this little time in the world called the pandemic of COVID. So that was out of line, right? Now, what was your thoughts, man? What was you gonna say?
Man, so yeah, we did retire. We did retire during COVID, but here's my thoughts, man. Like when we first retired, that first year, I really don't know what to expect. You know what I mean? In the military told me everything as far as when my hospital appointments or when I need to go get a physical and all that type stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so now I get out into the quote unquote the real world. Retired as an E8, and I immediately go into a job as a correctional officer. I think that was a big mistake for me at the time because I was fresh out the military,
mm-hmm.
and now I went to this facility, which is a high stress job, but it's still a cool job. But I felt like I was in a high stress environment with a bunch of idiots running the facility. You know what I mean? Because I'm in there with a higher strategic mind, you know what I'm saying? And this dummy right here is the one I'm supposed to call a sergeant. I like, oh, okay. You know what I'm saying?
Kind of still sound like the military though, didn't it?
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So now hindsight, man, them guys know exactly what it takes to run that jail.
Right.
But they just look and sound stupid. So it was hard for me to, you know what I'm saying, follow suit with that coming straight out of the military. I needed some civilian time first before I go into that. So now I'm more used to how they talk, how they operate, you know what I mean? Because I'm used to the military, right?
Yeah. So
that beginning phase for me, man, I'm hopping job to job because it's like I'm looking for something that's like the military.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You know what I'm saying? It's not that I want to be in the military, but my mind is like, okay, I need a certain kind of structure.
Yeah.
I need a certain kind of feel that's like a team deal and all that type stuff. And I wasn't getting none of that, none of the jobs that I picked, right?
Yeah.
2 years later now, you know what I'm saying, I work for the city as a community center director. And I realized, you know what I'm saying, that I just needed to breathe and really change the chapter.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? It's not for me now to find the military again in the civilian life.
There you go. Now that's a word. That's
what I mean. I'm looking for the military in the civilian world.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm like, okay, just because they're not speaking the same language as you doesn't mean that they don't know what they're talking about. You're the one that don't know what you're talking about.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? You in a whole new world now, man. Why don't you sit down, just chill out, breathe.
Yeah.
Relax and take this stuff in. Right?
No, yeah. That makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense.
It was tough at first, though.
Yeah, absolutely. So look, check it out. So now we're gonna go to you, Jeremy, right? As you chimed in, as he said what he said. How was that transition to you, right? And for you?
Man, Herm, you hit it right on the head, man. So I was looking for the same thing. I thought, I want to go out there. I want to find this, big team environment. And, I just basically wanted to be in the military with a beard. And, first of all, that's not the way things work in a lot of these jobs out here. And that's okay. I think a lot of the civilian jobs get a bad rap. And they're like, oh, man, they're just cutthroat. They're this, they're that. Let's just be honest about this. Whenever we're in the uniform, there's a whole lot of them positions that are cutthroat too. It's just a different way of being cutthroat. The other thing that for me, we all dream about making this, $200,000 a year or whatever your goal is when you get out and you think you're worth whatever. Man, you got to really do the math in your head because, man, the money is not worth all your time. We all gave up and missed so much of life chasing this military dream that, great. There are jobs out there. And don't get me wrong. If you want to make $200,000 a year, God bless you. You can do it. Make sure you get your certifications, your degree, whatever you're going to get while you're in. And those jobs are out there. But is it worth it? And for me, the answer is no. I've had 2 different jobs. Herm, I didn't bounce from correctional officer to director of I see that you are training for the Olympics in your last video that you posted. But
I won't make it no time soon.
no. I think Herm, we need to work on that a little bit more. But like for me, I started out, I own my own custom woodworking business, so I had that too. And working, I took a contracting job on base. I threw a number out that I thought was ridiculous, that I wasn't worth. They came back and said, "Can you start on Monday?" And I was like, "Oh, well, yeah, sure. Yeah, let's do this." Man, I realized within 60 days that this was not for me. I did not want this. And it wasn't about the money. And I think that was a realization that I needed. That, man, I was chasing a dollar when I should have been chasing a dream.
Hold on. Wait a minute. Wait a damn minute. See, that's what I'm talking about. So wait, before we get too deep into it, ladies and gentlemen, hopefully y'all are enjoying this. We're here in the Lion's Den, and we're talking about this transition. Now, I see that individuals ask if they can join in. Yes, we're going to do that towards the latter half of this conversation, all right? But we're talking about the transition. The thing is that as we're going out or transitioning out the military, some individuals fail to realize or to remember there was a transition for you to come into the military. So what makes you think there won't be a transition for you to go out? And it's more of a mental type of thing, because when you're doing something for 20 something years, like you think, okay, yeah, that's what's up, I'm good to go. Wrong. You're not. Okay. So here's something that I had to realize, something so small to other individuals, but big to us, right? Finding out what I was going to wear. Do you understand the level of anxiety it was? Like, yo, all this stuff in the closet for the last 20 something years, I only had to really change my outfit like maybe 3 times, because what the BDUs and and OCPs, you dig? So now, yo, how I'm going to go out? I don't know what to dress and be productive and look professional looks like. So Herm, what do you think one of your biggest challenges was as far as that transitioning on a small level to the outside but big for you?
It's kind of like what Chief Slade's talking about right there, man. It's just, I think the biggest problem with me was my mindset. You know what I mean? Clothes, clothes, of course, that's one thing, right? And then another thing is dealing with people not coming on time to work. You know what I'm saying? I was like, what's part of the game is this? I'm like, you have to just stroll in with your coffee anytime the hell you want to.
Hey, with pajamas.
Yeah, I was like, oh, okay, well, you know what I mean? So so I think it's just that some of the things that we take serious, you know what I mean, civilians won't take serious, but then oh snap! Hold on. But then again,
people putting their phones on mute in meetings, cool things like that.
Something like that. Like, who does that? You know what I mean? What type of professional does that shit?
But I thought my phone was upstairs. I didn't know it was down here.
Hey, but I think to your point, because I'm gonna go to you in a minute, Jeremy. The military does help. Keep it, ladies and gentlemen, this isn't a bash, right? At all. What the military does do is to equip you with a certain level of professionalism, right? And a certain level of ethos that is in our mind as we're doing it. This is common knowledge. But when you get outside the gate and back into real life, you're the unicorn. Who are you to come into work on time? And as a matter of fact, 15 minutes early. Who does that? Right? Why are you here when your boss is looking at you stupid, like you're doing too much? Right? So, what was you gonna say?
Another thing that I had, because I live in an army town, right?
Oh,
and so a lot of folks feel like when they hear that I'm retired military, they think I'm retired army, and they think that that I'm some kind of rigid person. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of the army cats that I know are pretty, you know what I'm saying? They're pretty straightforward, you know what I'm saying? Black and white. You know what I mean? Things of that nature appear to be pretty rigid. I like, well, you know what I'm saying? Y'all are prejudging military because not everybody's not like that. You know what I mean? But every time you talk to somebody, when their perception of a veteran is some good and some bad about, they don't know how to talk to people and stuff like that. I was like, well, I mean, certain military folks have a certain standard how things should be done. And if
Mhm.
you're not doing your job right, I mean, we used to being held accountable for that.
Yeah, that's no such thing. Jeremy, what you think, man?
Man, one of the things that really I had to learn, and all three of us being in that, senior NCO tier, we were in charge of people, processes, things. Man, one of my first superiors in the civilian sector had got out as an E4 and was probably 10 years younger than me, but he'd been in the civilian sector for almost 10 years. And man, you have to learn how to you don't have to be in charge. And that's the thing of letting that ego go, and letting yourself understand you're not that guy yet.
Yeah. You know what? I'm glad you said that too, because man, it's a harsh reality, right? Because not everyone, yes, and it's very humbling, right? Because not everybody knows, not just care that you serve. Keep that in mind. Even though you serve for the country, right? And for the freedom of everyone, essentially, you're not everyone's hero. Right? You're not, and it's okay. Well, look, let me go into some of these excuse me, these comments. Monica, what's going on? Hey, she was in the Army. Shout out to her. She says he's bidding, chase the dream, not the money. Right. And Chief Slay, she says, I purposely did not jump into finding a job. I decided to become an entrepreneur right away so I can design and control my own life. Liking the military as being on the planet where everyone is speaking a different language and living different life. All right. Some people are so stuck in the military as a civilian. I'm not. She says, I'm living my best life. Yes, absolutely. Here we go. It says, I stopped talking to people in the military that I was still in. Okay, when I knew I was leaving.
I don't know why you did that.
Hold on. I know why, and I think he's going to talk about that. And also, too, Tesla's not addressed the emotional aspect of transition.
I was going to touch on that too.
Yeah. Me too. So I think that they have a great intention on giving us the basics to be financially right, I guess aware, but that emotional transition is a very hard pill, right, to swallow, and it's hard, right? It's hard because if you don't have a good nucleus of individuals that can hold you down, or at least to understand what you're going through, it seems like you're going through it all alone. But what you gonna say, Jeremy?
Man, there's a couple of things on that. So my personal opinion, once again, I want to reiterate what you said earlier. This is not a bash on the military. Right. Listen, all three of us would not be where we are at today without the military. I know for me, I can speak that I grew up in a trailer park in Southern Illinois, and now I've traveled the world. My kids have wonderful things. So please, the military was great, but some of the things, everything can get better. But that TAP thing, man, listen, I think that is probably one of the worst put together things. It gets better every time, but currently, man, there's a lot of things that they tell you that, okay, yeah, it has some relevance, but hey, Herm, when did you change your tax bracket on your retirement check? Did they tell you? They didn't tell you about that, but you hear all kinds of people complaining about it whenever they get out. In that first year, they're like, dude, I got to pay taxes, pay in because I didn't pay enough. Well, why didn't they tell you about the important things in tax? Right. I think that there's a lot of things that could be changed with that. And one of my thoughts is, Seth, you said about there's a transition period coming in. Well, tell me why there ain't a transition period on the way out. You're already retiring, you're leaving. Tell me why there can't be a 6-week transition period. Now, I'm not saying that you're off for 6 weeks, but you have a mentor, somebody that's retired within the last 2 years that, you could sit there and have basically a boot camp, but in reverse. Tell me why we haven't done that yet. And I've actually thrown this around with a couple other guys and gals trying to get that, because I think Congress should buy off on that. Because, man, you want to talk about not having the basic knowledge on some things. Like, man, your money when you get out is important. And that's the reason why a lot of these people take these jobs, because they're worried about their money. Well, if you got to pay in, you get a $3,000 tax bill on your first time out, and nobody tells you to change it from 10%, which DFAS defaults it to your current tax bracket. Man, that's important. Why are we telling me about how to write a GS 13 resume, but I didn't want a GS job? I'm like with Chief on that. I wasn't trying to work for the government. Now I do have a government contracting job now, yes, but I didn't look for it. It found me.
See,
No.
yeah,
That tax thing is hilarious, man, because my first time filing taxes, you know what I'm saying, as a retired person, it was my first time really owing. And I felt like the dude told me that I owed $13,000 some kind of way. I'm like, hold on, I ain't making that kind of money. I'm like, what, $13,000, man? I was flipping out. You know what I'm saying? I had no idea what was going on, man. But I was so clueless on that type stuff that, you know what I'm saying, when I saw that, I was flipping out on my HR and everybody, like, yo, somebody need to fix this, because I have no idea why it's like that.
Mm-hmm.
It ended up not being that, but man, I had no idea on that process, because I never, I never ran into that issue before, right?
But they want to keep telling you about other things in TAP that, in my mind, didn't make any difference. Now, why don't they make that more modular to where, okay, yeah, I know that they've made it that way now, somewhat, to where you pick like an entrepreneurial path or a GS path or whatever. But some of the classes that we all had to sit in, that should be,
I ain't getting no class.
I took it because of my, we retired during COVID, but my first day of SkillBridge was Valentine's Day. So I was out right before COVID hit and shut everything down.
See. Okay. Well, see, and that's the deal. So now we're going to go into this transition here, right? Now we served, got the uniform off, right? And now it's, how are we going to take care of the family? All right. How are we going to take care of family? How are we going to do this? How do we take care of ourselves now? And now here's the deal. Our jobs or whatever it is that we want to do. Like, for example, I was already in the entrepreneurial space while serving, right? So it just gave me an opportunity to go full ham, right? Because I really didn't.
Yes.
I got tired of telling, all that. But here's the deal. How do you go from that into providing for your family, but also providing for yourself, your well-being? Because there's no, I would say there's no direct outlet to, or a link to say, hey, you need to stay fit for your job. We got the PT tips, right? You got that. Or look, check it out. You need self-care. So how did you two deal with self-care, dealing with COVID, by the way, right? And then transitioning as you're transitioning out.
You can't ask her. You can't ask Herm and I that. We already married into self-care, both of us. So, I mean.
We got counselors as wives.
Yeah.
That's one thing I do find. I find funny is that, well, not funny, but crazy is that, all right, so the military, we have that PT standard, right?
Yeah.
But the cops don't have that. You know what I'm saying? As soon as you pass that initial physical test to get in, after that, you could be whatever you want after that. You know what I'm saying? You be 300 pounds, be a correctional officer. That blows my mind. But I think with that, being in the military, you know what I'm saying? And then also, it was just always been a part of you. Yeah, after a while, I was wanting to go to the fitness center and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
The big push on mental health. So, seeing a counselor is regular. Towards the end of, well, now I won't say the end, toward like the middle of our career to the end, they started pushing that kind of stuff heavy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Go seek help and all that stuff. I think the military really does do a good job. I remember thinking, man, it's so stupid that we have to have sexual assault training every year, right? Until I got out to the civilian world and see some crazy stuff like, you really just did that?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't have that kind of training every single year like we did.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's not pounding in their head. Not saying the military is perfect with sexual assault, because that's not true. But I don't think it would have jumped out in my head that, you know, you shouldn't do that because it wasn't nothing super crazy. You know what I mean? But since we had that sexual assault training or sexual harassment training every single year, you know what I'm saying? You just look at things different.
Yeah, that makes sense. What about you, Jeremy? What you think about that as far as your well-being? How was that?
So, you know, everybody's experience in the military is different. I had some great times and I had some not so great times. And a lot of that, and I saw one of the comments about we can't use COVID as an excuse, and I agree, but I think it goes further than COVID. We can't use our situation at that wherever we're at as the excuse. You can use it as a springboard to get you to where you need to be. And that is something that I see a lot of people struggle, whether they had a wonderful career or they had a really shitty career. It was who you are as a person is really going to kind of dictate how much of that physical fitness, because I'm allergic to running, so I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I'm Adonis, but I do try to walk. I do get out there and do those type of things. Your mental health, for me, you know, that I did a video while I was in Sawdust Therapy, and I go out and I my shopping while my quote unquote business is also my release. And so you need to figure that out. And that's something that I do believe the military could do a better job in. And it's not the military, it's your supervisor, it's your leadership. You can't get told that 12 months before you get out that, oh my God, all these things are going to hit you. Man, that's something that you should be cultivating throughout your career, finding to make sure that you're not overdoing any one thing, everything in moderation. So I do believe that it's the culture is getting better. But when we all first came in, nobody cared about your mental health. Right. Man, you better take your ass to work. PT was a bicycle test. Now, I will say I did like that bicycle test, but it didn't do you any good. I think that there is a lot of things that we need to grow as people, and we can't use the military or any sort of excuse that, you know, there's all kinds of information out there for us now. Once again, when we first came in, the internet really wasn't, it's not like we're born in, as my kids would tell me, I was born in the late 1900s. But and this is why I'm scared about what the gift is going to be. So I think that we have to realize that there is a generational gap on that we do need to learn that.
Yeah, I mean, when I first came in the military, there was never no need for me to be on a computer nowhere. You know what I'm saying? My recipe cards is right under the table.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Check my email. I didn't have no email. You know what I'm saying? I
had trash to take out.
Yeah, go check that 662 and see what you cooking today. That's all I had to do. You know what I mean? So so it's like we are talking a different language than the people that are, you know what I'm saying, either coming in or like new into the military now. It's a big gap. But I have to go back on something that Wiley said about, you know what I'm saying, being happy that I was in the military because we wouldn't be where we are now if it wasn't for that, you know. And for me, I disagree, man, because I think the military held me back. You know, I think that I could have pursued my career in rap music.
See,
you know what I'm saying?
I knew that this was going this.
Hold on. I had my finger ready to mute it, but then I was like, wait, let's see how he's gonna. Damn it! And you did it. We're not doing that. We ain't doing
I was just saying, man. You know,
held you back. No, protected the world from this. That's what it did. That's what the military did. Protected the world from this foolish mess, right? This, you know what I mean?
Hey, but question for y'all, man. How do you guys feel like you have grown within these 2 years, though? You know what I'm saying? Like, how, you know what I'm saying? From your mindset from when you first came out to now, we should be hitting in a pretty good groove at this point.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So how do you feel like you've grown from when you first came out? What's the biggest change in your mindset from then to now?
Hey, what I worry about?
Meeks, hold on, Miss Meeks. Yes. You see me with the mic. I do have skills, but go ahead.
He does not, and we know it.
No,
no. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Man, I'll tell you what I figured out what's important in life. the stress that I carried, and I tell a lot of people that are getting ready to retire, you don't understand the stress you carry on your shoulders until you're retired and you've been out for just a little while. You also don't know who your real friends are.
Ooh, bing the button for me,
man.
I mean, if we're just keeping it real,
man, that's for real, because I got to hit this, man, because you realize that the individuals that you were connected with in the military, some of that was conditional.
Absolutely.
Because of the military, what you could do for them, or what can be on there 1206. But I'm sorry, go ahead, bro.
No, hold on.
No, you're right.
This thing right here would not say, hey, you know somebody in assignments, you know somebody get me over here. Hey, let me see your EPR. Hey, you know what I'm saying? Man. Would not stop going off. You know what I mean? But now it's like,
where you at? Hey, ghosted.
Did I pay my bill?
Right.
Like, what happened to those folks, man? Like,
dude, I tell everybody, in the first 90 days of you being away from your last place of business, those people that contact you after that 90 days, those people actually care. Go back and think about in your guys' career, right? Yeah, I know that you guys have this platform and everything else, but after the 90 days of being gone and out of the face of somebody, man, they either care about you or, like you said, there was a condition to this relationship. Worst case, 6 months. Man, if you ain't heard from him in 6 months after you retired, you ain't never gonna hear from him again.
Damn, man. You know what? I hate it. It's so true, though, Jeremy and Herm. You know what it is. Hold on, let me read this real quick. So she says, I now have a growth and abundance mindset. Right, I underestimated my fullest potential. I have grown expeditionally in my personal and professional life.
That's pretty big coming for her. I mean, she reached the highest level that you can in the military. It is an enlisted person. You know what I'm saying? She said she underestimated my fullest potential.
Yeah, and
you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot. And I'll tell you one thing, man. I'm glad that I had the right mentors for me, and I'm gonna tell you what that means. Because I know I was crazy as cat shit still, right? I know it still, but it takes a certain level of connectivity for me to pick up what they're putting down. And there was a mentor that told me, hey, you are holding yourself back, trying to do something that's not in line with who you are. Do you understand how that made me feel? Think about it. I've been doing something for so long and I'm trying to climb, but then I see there's people that see something else in me and they see that I'm working too hard to do something that I don't really want. Do you understand what that means? So going back to your question, Herb, I believe I grew in a level of understanding of accepting who I am and surrounding myself with individuals and situations that's in line with who I am, right? And it's not conditional on the paycheck.
Yes.
And I think that I'm falling more in line with what you just said, right? It's taking a lot of soul searching for me.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying, to find out what I really want and what I'm looking for, you know what I'm saying, this next journey in my life, right? I took a job for corrections, a food service superintendent for schools, you know what I'm saying, which I ain't last, man. They had me lifting them boxes. I'm like, yo, I'm out of here. You know what I'm saying? And now I'm with the city, you know what I'm saying? With the city's been good, really good. But I think one thing that hits me though is I'm so used to PCSing. Well, with people that's not in the military, is when we change from one base to another. I never stayed nowhere besides my first base longer than 4 years. It was always 3 years and I'm gone somewhere else. So, in my whole career, I'm always constantly moving, PCSing, deploying. So it's like I feel like my mind never had a chance to settle into a spot to where, to make any place feel like home, right? So now I'm here with no move in sight. And now it felt like the walls are starting to close in on me. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, you know what I'm saying? You're not going nowhere. It's like I had to adjust. Like, okay, what do you really want in life? Are you trying to move it? So I applied for a job, was thinking about taking it. You know what I mean? Another place, another location. I can't, you know what I'm saying? I'm not in a position right now to take that job. And it messed with my head. It still messed with my head to this day. You know what I mean? It's like, damn, you know what I mean? Like, what do I really want to do? Yeah. I got a great job now. You know what I mean? Like, and it's like what Jeremy said, you know what I'm saying? Don't chase the dollar, you know what I'm saying? Chase the dream. But it's like, boy, you got to figure out what that dream is.
That's true.
I think one of the thing that I got a question for you two is Herman, whenever you said about the walls closing in, and all of us, I did the same thing up until Scott. I was 3 years average, and I was packing. I lived out of a box, man. I had sticker after sticker after sticker on the side of my boxes telling me how many times I PCS. Did you guys ever, and I guess have you found out how to be happy yet? And I think that is a deep question for us that we're so ingrained on certain things. And it took me, it'll be 3 years in August that I have been retired. And man, I think within this last 6 to 8 months, I've really understood what happiness is.
You know what, man? Damn. Well, first I want to say, ladies and gentlemen, if y'all have any questions or comments, we put in the link in the chat, right? So y'all can click in. But hey, if you're looking out of line, you got sleep in your eye, don't hit the link. Okay, just try it, right? Because we don't want y'all looking silly. But we're talking about transitioning out, and Jeremy, you just asked a very potent question. Boy, do we know what happiness is now. I will tell you this, man. I believe I feel more confident in pursuing it every day, right? Because there was a time when I was afraid. Listen, I was afraid to be happy. Ain't that about nothing? Does that make sense to anybody? Listen, I was afraid, ladies and gentlemen, seriously, to be authentically happy because of the perception. Who do you think you are to enjoy yourself?
Absolutely.
You have not deserved, you have not did enough of whatever to be happy. So now I have to, I guess, unscrew my thought process in knowing that I'm able to be happy today. So let's see what that looks like for a new day, because I remember what it looked like at such and such a time, right? I don't have, my happiness is not accessible to me based off of someone allowing me to have it. It's my choice. So to answer that question, what you got, Herm?
I think that I understand how to appear happy.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying?
To appear happy.
Yeah, I think I understand how to appear happy when really you might not be. You know what I mean? And it's got nothing to, like, the job that I have, you know what I'm saying? I love doing it. You know, I work with a lot of kids that remind me, you know what I'm saying, that what I do is important to them. You know what I'm saying? I'm finally around my family, and being able to be an active participant in my daughter's life. But a lot of times, you know what I'm saying, I have an amazing wife, you know what I'm saying, that helps me grow every day as a person. But all of that stuff is me. I feel like me giving. I don't know what it is yet that makes me happy, if that makes sense, since leaving the military. And it's not like that I was some old gung-ho military person, because I wasn't. You know what I mean? I wasn't that guy.
What was it? Purpose, though?
Man, there's something I got to sit on somebody's couch to talk about. You know what I mean? Because I think that's the reason. That's the reason.
I'll give you Janet's numbers, Herm.
I think that's the reason why my mind, even though I'm in a really good situation, my mind is always thinking about the next. Okay, now I gotta do something. I'm looking for the next thing. But the next thing I got the next thing.
Yeah,
See,
but that's not happiness though. That isn't. You get what I'm saying? But if in my thought process, and I could be wrong, Jeremy, you tell me what you think about this. My thought process is that happiness is realizing the now versus the next. Realizing the now, because even though we're going to pursue, I think because every day we're able to breathe and our heart is beating, we have that natural condition to want more, right? But are you happy with what you have? Because there was a time when we were doing so much we couldn't see it. So now are you in a position where you can see it? Go ahead, Jeremy. What you got, bro?
and I think that that's part of this whole transition that I was talking about earlier about, you guys we were always pushed to the next thing. Like, all right, man, if you don't volunteer to be the what the hell ever person, boy, you just ain't worth shit. All right, cool. So, but I never did stop to understand what made me happy. And I've let go of all that. I'm never going to sit here and tell you, because you two know me, I'm never going to stop striving to be the best I can be. But when I said earlier about not chasing the dollar and chase your dream, you got to understand what makes you happy. And there's going to come a point to where you're happy. And if I never get promoted again in my job, trust and believe I'm okay. I'm happy with where I'm at. I don't feel the need to be more. And I think for the first time in my adult life, I like me.
Yeah.
And I think that's where that
is. And I think that's where I'm at, Jeremy, is that I'm struggling with the need to feel to be more. You know what I'm saying? Like, do I need to be something bigger? You know what I'm saying? Is that what it is? I don't know. It's like you said, it's like, did you ever find out what it is that makes you happy?
See,
I never really sat down and thought about what make me happy. I just do. I just did. You know what I'm saying? I just did. And now, like say when my wife go out of town and my kids are not here and at the mom's house, and it's nothing but quiet in my house, that's when it gets the loudest for me.
Yes. Well, you do have your pit bull though.
No, he's gone too.
Oh my God!
I be seeing him.
So here you are, butt naked emotionally. Look,
yeah.
Look, James said, shout out to you, James. He says a lieutenant colonel. He said a lieutenant colonel that he deployed with stated that he was scared to death to retire because he felt that he wouldn't have much purpose left after serving for 25 years. That's a real struggle out there. Listen, it is. That's the deal. So look, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if who's all watching, if you have served, but there's a little statement that says that we would say prior to getting out, I don't know what I want to be when I grow up. That is not necessarily a job thing. It's I don't know who I want to be outside of this monkey suit is what they call it, right? Because it's hard, because it's almost like this uniform is now a tattoo, but where am I underneath it? So one of the struggles I had as I was transitioning out, y'all, was reintroducing myself to who I was prior to, but marrying the two. This is what I mean. East side of Detroit Seth did not know what 40-year-old military senior NCO Seth know. So how do I connect the two to be an addition to continue to serve outside of the military and serving people in the best capacity? You dig? But it's a struggle if you don't know who you are from the jump. You get what I'm saying?
Well, you said something, Seth, man. I used to say it in my classes that I teach all the time, man. The left goes away and the right's there to stay. The left on the side of your uniform said us Air Force, and the right side was your last name. And man, don't ever forget, you're going to leave with one of those two name tags, and make sure that you carry that well with you.
Yeah, absolutely. What you got, Herm? What you gonna say, bro?
That what he's talking about with the lieutenant colonel, I saw that even while I was in when people was doing mortuary affairs job.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And then they had to come back and do, you know what I'm saying, work in the fitness center with me or whatever. It's that sense of purpose really hits people a different way.
Yes.
You
Yes.
know what I mean? And for me, I don't think it's necessarily a sense of purpose thing. I don't think so. You know what I mean? I really don't know. I just don't know that. Am I tripping because I don't know if I meet my maximal potential?
Mm.
That's the type of
Mm.
question.
You know, maybe that's what it is, Jeremy. What you think about that, right? Because and shout out to everybody that's still watching, y'all. Hey, we appreciate y'all for sharing y'all insight and everything like that, right? But your potential outside of the military, how do you quantify? Look, we had EPRs, right? That's the performance
Man.
rating.
Enlisted performance report.
Yeah, the report, and the officers has the officers one, blah blah blah. All armed forces have them, right? It's a certain things that it's a piece of paper that quantifies what you have done to other individual or for other individuals, and they supposed to write it based off of what they think about you or what you have proven to them. So how do you quantify what you're doing now for you?
I could,
You see?
man, listen, I heard this and I can't remember who's the one that said it, but man, the only opinion I care about, and I had to become okay with this, is what my kids say about me when I'm not around.
Mm.
And if that is what I gauge my potential off of, the fact that I will never miss another, I say never, that's a long time, that I will not have a work requirement because I will tell my job you can kick rocks, for a golf tournament for my daughter, for my oldest daughter, Addie, her dad's day for her sorority. If my son wants to go fishing up in Wisconsin where he lives now, when he gets back from his busy season, if I want to take a Thursday and Friday and weekend, go up there and go fishing, you know what? Guess what I'm going to do? Work be damned. I don't care. If my wife and I want to go to Branson, to Las Vegas, to wherever, you know what? Let's roll, honey. That's what I'm judging my potential off of. I've already given all my potential up, and my garden is barren of give a dams for potential of what other people think I could be.
Yeah. What you think, Herm? What's your level of how do you quantify your potential though right now? Because I know you say you're struggling with certain things, but I mean, look, bro, we talk every day just about, right?
Right.
So what do you think though? I mean, from transitioning out, right? How would you quantify your potential?
So my potential, I feel like my potential is not limited to anything really. You know what I mean? That if there's a job that I want to go get, I can go get it. But it's a struggle because again, what am I willing to sacrifice to get that job?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm at a real sensitive time in my kids' life to where they need me around more now than ever. So the potential, man. I mean, I don't know what the cap is as far as the things that I want to do. But I think more for me, the question is like, you know, how do I meet, you know what I'm saying, some of my desires and also meet the, you know what I'm saying, keep in mind the reason why I retired in the first place is because my daughter said they need me around more. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
not all money's good money, I was told once.
Right.
Yo, yeah, that is facts, man. That is real facts. So when I transitioned out, man, kind of like you, Jeremy, had a great opportunity to do great things, right? But back to what you said, Herb, I didn't give myself enough time to woosah. You get what I'm saying? I went from one high stress level job or position and just essentially change uniforms. You get what I'm saying? And end up doing the same thing. Like, wait a minute, right? It took some time for me to realize, hey, this does not have to be life. You see, like we're okay, right? And even if it doesn't seem like we're okay, if that makes sense, it will be okay.
Mhm.
All right, so listen, look, y'all, we got a call in real smooth. We got Chief Slay in the building. Let's see. Can you hear us?
Yeah.
Hey, what's going on? Welcome.
Hey, y'all.
What's going on, Chief Slay?
I'm good. You know, I couldn't help myself. I'm up there in some comments, and I just can't put them comments in fast enough. So I couldn't get on to the actual StreamYard, but I'm glad I was able to get connected to the phone.
Absolutely. So what was your comment?
Well, there's a lot of comments. But first of all, this conversation y'all are having is the same conversation I've been having for almost a year now with members transitioning over into the civilian sector. And so, you know, I put in my last comment that I was in my journey of self-actualization, which when, you know, we look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and it's the very tip of the pyramid. And so what I realized is that there was a lot of things that were holding me back, even though, you know, we see the cap, you know, for enlisted rank at chief. That is not the be all. And I think some folks are carrying around chief or whatever their rank was when they retired underneath the clothes that they're wearing. For example, okay, I go to a lot of networking events. And I go out and speak in a lot of public platforms. The last thing that I tell people is that I retired from the military. Because you go first in and just going and telling folks, you know, you did this, you did that, you went here, you went there. They get lost. And that communication gap is serious. So you go in with, hey, what you're doing now, what you're trying to do, you know, the things that you're looking to get into. And then if people ask, hey, yes, then you can insert some of those things in there. But it's a part of you. It does not define who you are.
There you go. You're absolutely
Hit that
right.
button.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, the thing is that it's like, hey, I think sometimes too, Chief, to your point, is that some people do not understand the military is what you do, not who you are. But if they don't know who they are, then they're going to associate who they are to what they do. You see?
Exactly.
And then when what they do gets removed by anyway, right? Like either you retire or you get out, whatever happens, then they're lost.
Yeah.
See, because that was their foundation.
Yeah. I talked to this woman the other day, and she said she didn't know what her life was like. I mean, she retired like, you know, maybe 4 or 5 years ago. And she says, I am completely lost.
See,
I have no idea where to start from. And so, you know, for anyone that's listening in, you know, and still searching and seeking, and it's okay because it's part of the journey. There are some things that you can really do. I think for me, one of those things that I went in is into my closet. And, you know, when you're in these military positions, a lot of times the things that you wear are representative of where you had to be and where you had to go when you were in the military. And so I said, well, that ain't me no more. So polos and khaki shirts and, you know, all these things that I had to buy to be part of that organization. I took them clothes and bagged them up and gave them away. And I replaced it with clothes that were going to represent who I wanted to become.
There you go. Yo. That's dope. That's dope. Hey, Chief Slade, thank you, ma'am, for calling in. We appreciate you and appreciate you for tuning in and always supporting the Lions Den.
Here too.
No doubt. You have a good evening.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
You know, Seth, Chief just said something that I think is highly important, especially for anybody listening in that is either going through or getting ready to transition out. Man, reach out to one of us old heads that you think you need a mentor while you're in. You need a mentor to get out.
Hey.
And we can shed a lot of light in some of our experiences that we struggled with. I mean, yes, this podcast is going to be great for somebody to listen in, but each journey is so different. And I know for me that, I mean, if they can get a hold of you, they can get a hold of me. So I'm happy to talk to anybody that may be struggling with it. So please, whoever's listening, reach out to somebody. Life is a team sport, brother.
It is. And look, y'all, we got time for one more call. We got it open. But what you was gonna say, Big Herm?
Oh, I thought is the call in?
No, I don't think they're in now. I don't know. So listen, y'all, the number is 618-792-6747. Again, 618-792-6747. Y'all, we talking about transitioning out and life after serving, right? Because after it's over, that part is over, your life isn't. You get what I'm saying? And sometimes people feel like that because, again, to your point, Jeremy, there's no not a lot of emphasis on, hey, let's do this together because I've been where you're going. And then here's another thing too. I think that it's a problem. Some individuals feel as though before getting out, they got it, they know all the answers, right? They got it already figured out. Listen, this go hit you like a ton of bricks. You don't have hands big enough to catch this shit that's gonna land in your lap and on your life. Am I lying? So they say, no, I got it. Look, I got, my money's straight. But is this straight?
Right.
Is this straight? You get what I'm saying? What you think about that, sir? What you think about that?
What I think is that you spot on 100%, and that I want people to understand is when we talk about this is that I definitely have zero regrets about joining the military and doing the time that I did, and it's very, very, you know what I'm saying. I feel very good. I have a pretty nice home, you know what I'm saying, nice vehicles. My kids are good, and all I have to do is wake up, and all that stuff is covered. You know what I'm saying? I love that feeling to be able to, you know what I'm saying, provide for my family due to the sacrifices I made during my military career.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So again, we keep saying this ain't no we bashing the military and stuff like that. I still recommend the kids, if college is not your thing, please go talk to a recruiter because this was the best decision I ever could have made. You know what I mean? It's just when we talk about transitioning out, man, there's some things that people just don't know. You know what I mean? The world don't take care of you the way the military will. You know what I'm saying? The military has its faults. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. You know what I mean? But at the same time, the military does take care of folks. You know what I'm saying? They do have people in place that's responsible for caring about you. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of it comes natural. It's not like that on the outside world. They'll fire your ass in a second and get you up out of here.
Man, and look,
over
here, I don't know what state y'all law, but this is what they call them at will state. So,
yes.
If you feel like it, you want to keep me going. So look, let me ask y'all this before we go, right? Going back into, reintroducing yourself to your new retired self. How was the difference in your past friends? What I mean by that is reconnecting with individuals, right? Like, hey, now I'm not traveling around anymore. We can, I have this time.
Oh,
but you see, you're on two different pages. And you're like, are you trying to force something that's no longer relevant anymore? Or here's another thing. And this, ladies and gentlemen, this is not saying being in the military, you're better than anybody at all. No. What you're doing, you have different experiences. So what I want to ask y'all was, how was the transition to recognize that? So go ahead. Hold on. Because I know you got it, Herb. Let me ask Jeremy. What do you think, Jeremy?
Man, so one of the things that I did learn while I was in the military is, you PCS all the time. You're moving. You got to make a new circle wherever you're going, and it makes life easier, right? Let's just be honest about this. Some people you may not have talked to on this outside the way that you kept it copacetic with them on the inside. I quit forcing anything. I am not here to force you to be my friend. If you don't want to be my friend, you know what? Goodwill. I wish you the best of luck and God bless you, and move it on down the street. I have found it very difficult. I live in, small town, Southern Illinois. Everybody kind of knew me when I was an 18-year-old around here. And man, after I retired and, I'm growing my beard and they're asking, hey, how was the military? Oh, I retired, 3 years ago, and they start doing the math. There are some people that get jealous and envious and get very shitty with you about the fact that you have made a decision to do something. It's not like you held them back from doing whatever they was going to do. Then there's people that see after 20 plus years. Herm, you touched on it about, like, my wife and I were blessed. We don't have to drive around in a brand new 2023 Maserati, but man, we got nice vehicles. We have a camper. We have some land that we go hunting and fishing on. We live a very comfortable life. And man, there are people that really despise that. And I don't understand that. I mean, but you talk about forcing things, man. Like, first of all, like we talk about in either personally or on Facebook, man, my circle, as I have gotten older, and especially after I've retired, it keeps getting smaller, and that's for a reason. And that's okay, because I don't want those people around that were fake, with false intentions, with reasons to try to hate or down you for something. If you're not helping push me up, don't come around. And I'm not trying to be an ass. I'm just trying to be real.
Yeah. What you think, Herm?
I think for because I moved back home to my hometown, right? Left here at 19, 19 years old in 1999, been gone for 21 years. And I think one thing that I realized what I probably did was, I got to remember that their lives move on too. You know what I mean? Like, so I come back home thinking that it's going to be like home. But just like with me, they also have families. They also have things that they're going through. You know what I'm saying? So it's not home no more in that kind of sense. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? We don't have the same time that we used to have for each other running around the block. You know what I mean? But in your mind, you think like, man, I'm going back home. It's going to be like old times again.
Right.
No, it ain't, man. We all got kids. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to be like that. But, you know what I'm saying? Bills. But you just reminiscing, you know what I mean, about being home. So it's always good, man. It's always good being at the community center, and I got the kids in there I went to school with their parents. You know what I mean? I love that type stuff. You know what I mean? I tell your mama, I'm a messenger right now on Facebook. You know what I mean? But as far as trying to hold on to bonds and stuff like that, I have one or two friends, really just one, that I keep in contact with that's not in the military. The rest of them are my military friends from my first base. Seth, me, you talk every day. You know what I'm saying? Me and Jeremy talk on and off as well. You know what I mean? And I think that's due to experiences that we all have we all share.
Right.
You know what I mean? So when I say something through my perspective, you'll understand it more than, you know what I'm saying, than a lot of my friends who know mostly just Clarksville, Tennessee, which is not a knock on that. You know what I mean? It's just my life had went to a different. I went differently in my life.
Yeah, different path.
Yeah.
Well, look, right on. Well, look, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna do this. All right. Hey, Jeremy, I'm gonna give you opportunity, man. Give your last final thoughts, man, before we close it out, brother.
Man, listen, for anybody that is transitioning out, get a mentor. Don't think you know everything. You need to remember what it was like to be humble again. Man, there is so many things that have changed out here. But the other thing is quit living in fear. Man, live in faith. Forget fear and allow yourself to understand people make it outside that gate every day. Every day, people making it outside that gate. And we're all here to help you.
Yeah. Oh, man, appreciate that. Yeah. What you got, Big Herm?
Hey, for me, is the transitioning thing. I'm still fighting through it. You know what I mean? And no, I'm not nobody you need to worry about stuff like that. I have good problems. You know what I'm saying? I say I have good problems because there's options presented that I could take certain things. You know what I mean? Or not take it. So I'm not hurting for nothing or, upset about anything. But the transition does take time to adjust to, and some are going to struggle with it more than others. And I want to echo what Jeremy was saying, like, sometimes you're going to need help or somebody talk to a mentor. And if you ever feel like you're in that position, man, always remember, feel free to call Jeremy, man. Jeremy will be there for you to make sure he answers all your questions. He's on if you need his information.
I knew that.
He's a friend of mine on Facebook. Just look for Jeremy Wiley, and you know what I'm saying?
I got to go change my name now.
Yo, hey, no, but seriously, and look, hey, thanks, James, hey, and happy Father's Day to you, brother, and again, happy Father's Day to everybody that's out there, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, this is the deal. This is what we do, right? We care. We care. We want to give you the best information that's out there. You get what I'm saying? We don't have to do it alone. You don't have to do it alone. From in the military, out the military, there's still forward movement. And that's what we're here talking about: leadership, growth, development, but with action, right? So surround yourself with those doers. You get what I'm saying? And but connect with individuals that are in line with you and your definiteness of purpose. So that's how we're going to get this in for this weekend, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all time, and we're going to see y'all soon on the flip flop. Right on later. Jeremy, don't go nowhere. Stay right there.